all a girl wants is money and no trauma. Like, is that too much to ask for?
Welcome back, guys.
It's another episode of Cocktails and Counsel. And today, we're talking about White Lotus season finale.
So, before we actually do the wine, we're going to show you guys what the inspo is tonight. It's a sleepover, but the inspo is Olivia Pope. Olivia Pope. That's us tonight. And we have popcorn and red wine.
Open it up.
Now we need
Isn't this bottle adorbs? I don't even know where I got it, when I got it.
Horseshoes and hand grenades. I'm into that. American red wine. Okay.
That's so...
From Oregon. Oregon has really good wine, actually. My dad told me about that. If I were you, I would hold this.
Okay.
And then hold this glass here. Now you can go.
Okay.
Girl, that's crazy.
I thought we were just gonna keep pouring.
I want half of that. And then we have Good Molecules eye masks today that we're gonna put on. Cheers.
Cheers.
It smells delicious. Oh my god.
That's nice.
Wow.
It's light.
Red line and wine is like... I love that we're matching.
Do it like both. Stop. These are cutesy.
Okay. Commercial break is over.
The one thing I want to say is I'm glad it wasn't the black people. That's the one thing I was like, yes, Lord, my black people survived.
I was
they
really
came
glad.
out on top with some money.
I was so scared that they were gonna be
Right.
something was gonna happen.
It's usually us that's collateral, and I'm just like, bro. All a girl wants is money and no trauma. Like, is that too much to ask for? Wow.
Season 2 and season 1 were much better than season 3. Everyone agrees. Yeah. Season 3, it is weird though, because it was like a massacre at the end. That's not usually how it is. But you know how the woman with her son, how she knew that the guy, basically she was the assistant in season 2 for this main woman who ended up getting killed, who was really, really rich, and she was dating that old white guy.
Tanya.
Exactly. So he killed Tanya. So that was that storyline. That was that connection. But I'm crazy. I've seen all the seasons, and I didn't even notice it was the same guy until she noticed it was the same guy. And I was like, oh.
Her and Zion, like her and her son, he really knew how to play ball. He was like, yeah, I went to Harvard or something, and I got my MBA, and he got her $5 million. This dude was finna give her 100. You know what? This is all about how people of color are underpaid, even in embezzlement and blackmail. I meant to say hush money, but like, dang, the system never sleeps. Like, you were gonna give my girl 100K?
100K is crazy to keep her a murder secret.
Right. And then he gave her $5 million. I'm like,
I did. My heart hurt a little bit when she left that guy because he loved her so much.
No, point shot. I felt so bad for him, bro.
She was like, can I just be rich?
Right.
And I was like, yes, ma'am, you can. But you can take it.
Like, damn, I felt bad for that man. I felt bad for him. Okay, also, the family, obviously, with Tim and...
I have, like, a weird problem where, like, when I watch movies like that and there's some, like, old man who's getting, like, in a lot of trouble for doing shit like that, I should really hate them, but I start to feel bad for them. Like, I literally felt bad for him. I was literally watching it because he was getting so suicidal. But wait.
No, I thought it was the delusion from the lorazepam that was triggering those, like, vivid, I'm gonna shoot everyone in the household type
I think
thing.
it was, but he was still planning on doing.
Yeah, he was.
I did have one question. The girl, when her twin was like, I'm going to stay with you and stay in Thailand for a year. And she was like, I don't want to ruin your life. And she decides she's not staying either. Does that mean that all of that stuff she said was fake? She was like, I can't do it. Like, I need, like, it was fake.
Actually, I don't think it was fake.
Really?
For a brief moment, I did think that she just wanted to get away from her siblings. Like, she just wanted to live on her own without them being around. But then again, I was like, probably not. But I get it if that was the case. But it wasn't. When she was like, oh, I don't think I can do it. If you notice, in the last episode, her outfits changed. Like, before, she used to be wearing, like, basic white milkmaid type dresses. And when it was, like, the last meal with the family, she was wearing, like, a very, like, gorgeous, sparkly, like...
Of course you notice something like that. And you know,
I was like, that's a cute-ass dress.
The showrunner, he's so smart, and he does that. He does a lot of, like, little things like that where people catch it, and Do not. I do have like notes of things I want to talk about.
Let's go.
Maybe it'll give us a little bit of structure because
we're jumping all
we
over.
got so much. Okay, first of all, my brother also watched this show and he was like, I do not care about those blonde women. The storyline is so dumb. And the worker guy.
Valentin.
Yeah. I thought that at first, but those blonde women, it got so juicy. I was obsessed.
No,
in the beginning, really it was just so boring.
Literally, I teared up. I can't remember. It was one of the friends with the short hair, the one who went off with Valentin. She went to the Muay Thai fight or whatever. When she and the three friends were talking, she was like, I kept marking my life by my career and I tried to do it with love. And then I actually realized it's time. And
I love that
you
speech.
And the people.
It was beautiful.
I was like, yes, girl. I was like, y'all had something good in you. Just that one.
What was really weird was when the blonde woman recognized the brunette mom, the kid's mom.
Yeah, what was that whole
There was no explanation for that, right?
Okay. There was nothing for that. And that was like 3 episodes ago. I think that happened in like episode 4 maybe.
There was no explanation.
And we never got any resolution from that.
My other thing that I wanted to talk about, the family, that daughter, I do not like her at all. I don't like her. Yeah. There's like, it's a specific archetype of girl who's like born into a really, really like privileged like family. And they they want to cosplay poor, and then they want to like be like, I don't like these things, like act like it's like Rory Gilmore in the Gilmore Girls, where she wants to act like she's better than that family she's around, but at the end she's exactly like them, and all she does is judge them in the process.
Yeah, that is the just exact archetype that she is, like fully that is her. Like she's
just
like,
own yourself.
Like, I just want to go off into the monastery or whatever and live in basic needs, blah, blah, blah.
You better believe if I was in a rich family, I would be riching it up. I would be riching it
That's what her mama said. She's like, you know what? People don't get to be rich like us, and so we really need to enjoy it. Like her mom is insane, but like also
these taste like
Trix
truth cereal.
Really?
Taste them. I'm going crazy. They taste exactly
Maybe it's the combo of the popcorn and this. It tastes like regular marshmallows.
Nuh-uh. They taste like Trix.
I ain't getting it.
Or like Lucky Charms a little bit.
Well, Lucky Charms is marshmallow. Oh my gosh. Chelsea and Rick. Okay, so the whole thing with
You're
this...
so good with names. I'm so bad with names. Chelsea was the woman with the short hair. Oh, Chelsea is the woman who's like in love with Rick.
Yeah.
And he wants to, like, his father.
Yeah, he wants to avenge his daddy.
Okay.
Them.
He didn't deserve her.
But here's the thing. I love their relationship. I think they were my favorite people to follow throughout the whole series.
She was just obsessed with him.
Right. That's what you think. But I genuinely do believe that he loved her. He does love her. But like he was also working through his own problems. But you can tell like in moments where like she was like really asking for something, he would then be like, okay, fine, I acknowledge what you want and let's do it. And that's why I really, really loved them. They're literally a sunshine and grumpy relationship. Like that is my favorite trope. Oh my god. And there was a point in the final episode when she said, our fates are intertwined at this point. Anything that happens to you happens to me. And I said, shit, she about to die.
And that's exactly what happened.
I was like, damn, she about to die.
Oh, I didn't think that she was gonna die when she said that. I was just like, oh.
That was foreshadowing to me. I was like, oh, she's probably gonna die.
But she dies at the end, but also he dies. Yep. So they both die. That was
crazy.
They
both died at the end. I was like, wow, got shot. But
I wish we understood more about his storyline though, and like that guy being his dad. Like
I saw that coming. That's some shit I would write. That is something I would 100% write. As soon as he met that man, I said that's his daddy. I said that is his daddy. I felt it because that's usually one of the best plot twists. How did you just
predict everything? Because she's read too many books.
Yeah, exactly.
I was watching this and I was like, oh. What?
If it's one thing about those YA books, it is always secret familial relations. Like, that is how they find out why they have their powers and why they're the chosen one. It's always the case. Somebody daddy is always a guy. Or someone got freaky with a vampire, you know.
There was literally one of the craziest scenes was spoiled to me, and I still forgot it and freaked out when I saw it.
Which one?
The brother scene.
Oh.
Because someone told me what happened, and I forgot it. And then when I was watching it and they showed the scene, you guys know the scene I'm talking about, where it looked like he was doing something to himself. I was like, damn, that's just nasty, but it's not that bad, right?
Right.
He's just watching his brother. Nasty, right? We all agree it's nasty. But then it got to like it showed what it actually was, and I was like, and then I remembered, I got the flashback that I did get that spoiler, and I completely forgot it.
So it was so cool how they sort of unveiled that, because as the day progressed and he kept trying to remember more and more, it's like we got a little bit more point of view, we got a little bit from Locke, like, and then it sort of came together, and then we realized what had actually happened. I was like,
and the girl,
he was disgusted. The other older brother was like literally disgusted with himself.
But also the models like making fun of him the next day pissed me off, because I'm like, you guys, the model girl, I was really mad. She was making fun of them. I was like, you don't think about how disturbing that is for them. Mm-hmm. Like, what happened was traumatizing.
Yeah.
Even though he sucks.
Yeah. Like, still pretty horrible. And he was like turning a new leaf at the end. There was so many little nuggets in this season finale, and it felt really good. I can't believe I forgot to mention, do you remember when the model had asked Saxton if they could, in front of her murderous boyfriend? Like, I would be afraid that man will kill me. Honestly, I'm genuinely so surprised that Saxton didn't do it. But I think towards the end he was like getting morals or something, so.
Oh, I wrote, the mom is such an enabler for her nasty son. Every time he would make a nasty joke, like the older brother.
Oh, yes.
She would be like, ha! There was a scene where the dad's robe opened that was disgusting.
That was hilarious.
Also, I need to read to you guys this note. It says, the daughter tricking them all and wants to move there. She's dying to be interesting.
Oh.
There was one scene where the 3 girls were fighting, and then the 2 of them completely destroyed that third one.
Yes, and she was like, you're just disappointed all the time.
Yeah, that was so good. I was like, you're so right.
Like, that was such a good read.
It was so good.
I don't know if that happened in that conversation or a little bit later, but she was like, when I'm around you guys, all of my decisions become so transparent, and it's so clear the choices that I
later.
took.
Yeah, that was the good conversation where they remade up.
Mook and the guard, the security guard. If you notice, like I think it was like in the last 2 episodes, she wasn't really feeling him, because he was like, I'm thinking of quitting and blah, blah, blah. She's like, why would you quit? You literally put in so many years here. I thought you were more ambitious, blah, blah, blah. And like,
yeah, she did say that.
And like the way like he was sort of like going down, she's like, like you can see her becoming disinterested in him, because she's like, I'm not gonna be with you to struggle together, babes. Like, we need to move on up.
And I commend her for that.
As she should. But then eventually he did get that bodyguard position because he shot Rick. And now he's a bodyguard.
What happened to when he caught those other guys that were doing all the criminal activity?
He didn't do anything. He didn't say anything about it.
Okay, good, because I like them. The Russians. I liked them.
I think it was all a fake. Like, they just wanted the money. I don't think he had a mom in Vladivostok or wherever he was. He did rob the White Lotus, and I do think it's possible that he was also stealing from guests. Do you remember when he had that woman in bed and he's like, can you give me $10,000? I'm sorry, asking can you give me $10,000? That's like the number 1 scam number. Like, a scammer always asks for $10,000.
Literally.
He couldn't even ask for like 9,000. I would have been like, oh, maybe it's real. He's asked for 10.
He said an even 10.
He said 10,000.
Is exactly what I
to get my mom out of Russia.
That was so funny.
And he was begging her, I know you're rich. He said all of that while she's in bed, and she's like, he's like, can you just help me, please, please? You can Zelle.
It literally turned me off.
Zelle, yeah.
Oh, he's like, please, please.
Zelle, Cash App, Venmo. I was like, sir.
I did see there was a TikTok of someone who spoke Russian and translated what the girl said because they didn't have subtitles.
Yeah, they didn't.
And she just kept calling them prostitutes or something like that. She was like, you're a prostitute, you're a prostitute.
Wait, was she saying that to the man?
About the girls. He was like, you're prostitutes that you had here.
Oh.
And calling the girls prostitutes.
Wow. If anything, Valentin was the prostitute. He literally slept with that woman and then asked her for money after. And then when the episode was ending, we saw him giggling with another set of 3 white women. This man has an agenda.
I mean, how did you know that the owner of the White Lotus was his dad?
It seemed like the most logical plot line. He was very calm about the situation. I was looking at how they were interacting. It just felt right.
And he goes, I knew your mom was a whore. Mm-hmm. I didn't know she was a bad liar.
I was like, oh, okay, so that sort of confirmed it. I'm like, there's more to the story about the whole father, and I was like, oh, he's definitely
What was the story that he knew? Because I don't actually know.
All he knew is that his mother, on her deathbed, said that that man killed his father. And that's all he was going off of.
Honestly, I don't even feel bad for Rick's dad because then he went later and shoved it in his face.
Yeah.
And was like...
It was very weird. Why would he provoke him? Like, you already saw he was a little... Oh. Also, one thing I wanted to point out. As the episodes were progressing and Tim from the family, he had stole his wife's lorazepam, whatever. What I noticed was how their microfacial expressions were changing throughout, like, the last three or two episodes, where the wife was, like, more awake. Like, you can see it in her face and how she was, like, her default facial expression also changed. Yeah. And the same for Tim. Like, he got, like, more, like, you can literally
like, he literally looked more like a dead person.
The face acting was actually so incredible. Like, that is one thing that I had noticed. I was like, wow.
That was true. That's really good. Mm-hmm. Wait, but what does lorazepam even do?
It calms you down, like, from anxiety or something.
And what was the mom's problem? Like, do we ever know she's just a rich mom who...
Yeah, she's just on it. I think it's so funny watching. It was so funny watching her interact with the people on the boat. I don't think she's good in social situations, and that's sort of, I saw that parallel between her and her son, Lachlan, the
little one. I just felt so bad for him the whole time. I just felt so...
Oh yeah, sorry, we didn't talk about how he almost died.
I thought he was gonna die. I thought that was spoiled for me. Someone told me what he did, and then they said that he drank the poison or something, and I just, like, didn't process what this person told me. So I thought he really died. And then I was shocked that they kept him alive.
Because that whole metaphor of him in the pool and then, like, him drowning and, like, we seeing that visual, I was like, oh, is he actually dead? I'm like, this was such an interesting character to take, you know, their life. But then when he came back too, I was like...
Well, it would have been a little bit poetic because he was the only one that said that he could live poor.
Okay, thank you for bringing that up too. I thought it was so funny how at the end of this, like, in the last episode, the dad was basically taking stock and surveying, be like, all right, which one of my family members I gotta kill? Because they clearly cannot handle it. He pulled up like, hey, if we lost all our money, how would you be okay? He's like, no. I'm like, He's like, all right, you gotta go too.
A colada for you.
No, a colada for you.
I do think it was a weird, like, it wasn't a plot hole, but it kind of is. What? Is that in the beginning, they showed in the first episode, they were like, we have this thing that's poisonous that people can drink and die. Mm-hmm. When does that happen? When have you ever been to a hotel where they've been like, this is poisonous. If you put it in your drink, you'll die. Like, then everyone would just be freaking popping it in everyone's drink. Yeah. It just felt really, like, too convenient, and we knew it was going to be used. It's just exactly what happened.
I thought it was, when that happened, and he actually came back to life, I said, oh, that was fake. It's a story that they tell the guests. It's not poisonous.
Oh, you think it was fake?
I think it's a story that they tell the guests. It's not poisonous. I think it just, like, harms them or makes them very sick, or it puts them in sort of, like, you know when you do a Uvaderva or something where you, like, go to a higher mental state and, like, you come back down? I think that's what it was. I definitely meant ayahuasca because my Sims did it once and, like, traveled to another planet, and I think one almost died. So, you know, it follows. Because you remember when he came back too, he said, I think I saw God.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good. That was good.
And I was like, okay. So I'm like, I don't think this fruit, because I don't even know if that's legal to have a property where there is quite literally a poisonous fruit falling, you know? Yeah. Like, I'm like, I don't think that's legit, but, especially, you know, it's Thailand.
A bougie place in Thailand.
Exactly. I think it's just, like, a lie that they tell the people.
You know what's so funny is that there were a lot of things that were, like, hinted at that were so freaking weird, and they all kind of were some sort of, like, foreshadowing or, like, hinting at something. So, like, when we watched it and when we reviewed the first episode, we were like, wow, that family feels so incestual. It feels so incestual. So we kept seeing these themes of, like, incestual from, like, the brother to the sister, like, the older brother to the sister. It just felt really weird. And then what happens?
The
two brothers. Brother on brother.
That was crazy. Also, it wasn't until the last three episodes that I realized a character will say the episode's title in the episode.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, which one? Wait.
Most notably, in the last episode, it was, what's her name, Chelsea, who said, you know what, it's Amor Fatai. Also, if you have not heard the song Amor Fatai by Washed Out, that is literally one of my favorite songs ever. It makes you feel like everything and nothing at the same time, and I just listen to it. Whatever your destiny is, good or bad.
Killer instincts, denials.
Yeah.
Full moon party. Hide or seek, the meaning of dreams.
I just wish that I saw what happened to that family after. He's like, things are going to change, but we're going to get through it. He was ready to kill everybody, so I don't know.
They don't know, they're just lucky to be alive.
They don't know, they're lucky to be alive.
Should we put on face masks?
We're just going to do Mediheal, and then there's a tea tree and a Vita Bean.
I think I'll do tea tree. Okay, I'm going to take these off.
I love how these feel, actually.
Sometimes I feel like they give me a little kick because they have caffeine. Oh my god, it smells so freaking good. My sister brought me these from Korea. Let's see how ridiculous that looks. Wait, that's so cute.